Okay, it just started raining out, so I'm gonna kind of yell so you all can hear me. But today we are using up the end of our elderberry syrup with a little bit of beef gelatin powder to make gummies. I am so excited about beef gelatin lately that I'm gonna kind of go into some stuff about that before we make the gummies. The amount of things that you can do with this container is crazy, and so freaking good for your body. So this is Zen Principle grass-fed pasture-raised beef gelatin powder. A lot of people will ask what's the difference in beef gelatin and collagen. There's really not much difference. Collagen has been hydrolyzed to make it easier to dissolve into water, whereas gelatin has to bloom in cool water and then be heated and then be cooled again. If you've ever made marshmallows at home, you know how this works. Gelatin has all the same amino acids, it's got all the same good proteins, and it's also really great for gut health and skin health, nails, hair, all the same stuff, all the same goodies. And it's can be used in so many ways with cooking that I just find it more fun to have it and to be able to have the option of making like gummies and marshmallows and face masks and hair masks and all sorts of cool stuff that we'll get into today. So I do want to talk about the face masks because it's pretty cool. Once you learn how jello works and you learn how to work with it, trust me, your brain is going to go as crazy as mine, because all you need is liquid and gelatin. So you could take any herbs you want, any fruit juices, any ingredients that you want, steep a tea, mix it with this, and have like the coolest face mask, right? Or hair mask or whatever. So what I like to do is I'll take a little bit of wax paper and I'll put it in a dish, probably bigger than this, just so it has a lip and it doesn't spill. And I'll pour just a thin layer of the jello mix for a face mask. This, again, is the wrong container. You would want something like face size, like a pie pan would be perfect. So let's say I make a tea of like chamomile and marshmallow root and oatmeal and what are some other yummy face things? Calendula, roses, whatever you want. Steep a tea. Let the beef gelatin bloom in the tea at room temperature, heat it back up, let it cool in the fridge, and then you have such a nice face mask. It's so cool. So what we're doing for our jello recipe today is 1 cup of juice and 2 teaspoons, I'm gonna have to confirm this in the caption, of gelatin powder. I don't actually use measuring spoons, I just eyeball it, so I'll have to confirm that. So let's fill up our 1 cup of elderberry. Beautiful! Now, why would you want to do this? I think it's nice towards the end of cold and flu season, like right now. We'll just use all of her. When you have already gone through the funk, you've already done all the great immune supportive things, you've got a half-empty open bottle of elderberry syrup that you don't want to keep in the fridge all year and you don't want to waste, you can make gummies, keep them in the freezer. It's just a little bit easier to store that way. So I don't like to buy things I don't need, like a gummy pop-out thing. If you have children and you are really excited about making gummies, that would probably be great for you. What I prefer to do is just fill a pan like this, just like jello cubes, and just cut it into my own little squishy gummy bites. Okay, I'm so sorry, but I was recording when I put the gelatin in without a microphone and it started pouring and you couldn't hear anything. So I already added it into bloom, but I'll just go over it with you all. I took 2 tablespoons of our gelatin powder and I just sprinkled it on top. You can maybe already see it's starting to like soak in and get kind of weird looking. So we're just gonna walk away for an hour. We'll come back and then we will steep it momentarily on the stove. Okay, we have let our gelatin bloom, which you can see it's gotten a little bit chunky already. So now we're just going to put it in a pot, bloop, heat it up just for a second, and put it right back in this same container. And as you can probably tell, I'm pretty nonchalant about this. I'm not much of a recipe follower, so 1 cup of juice to 2 tablespoons gelatin. Let it bloom on the counter for 30 minutes to an hour. You'll be able to visibly see. And then on the stove, I just bring it up to where everything is dissolved and melted just for a second. I don't think it would hurt it if it was a little bit longer, a little bit less. And I just pour it right back in here. Pop it in the fridge. We will cut it into little tiny cubes and put it in a Ziploc. And that's about it, but I will show you. All right, party people, it is time to cut. So as you can see, this is quite firm in here. So you're just gonna cut whatever size pieces that you would like based on your container. And of course you can store these in the fridge. I couldn't really confirm with you for how long. I would say a couple months. So maybe just feel free to keep some in the fridge and some in the freezer for a later date. And as far as doses, I would say that it's almost the exact same as your regular elderberry syrup instructions, because the amount of gelatin that you're adding isn't taking up very much space. So if you're taking a teaspoon as a preventative, that would probably depend on the size of your square, so I'm not going to tell you what it'd be with mine. Or if you're in active infection and you're taking more like a tablespoon every couple hours, every 4 hours, then you would take, a little bit more of these a little more often. So you can do this. They smell delicious. One thing I did mean to do that I forgot to do was add fresh pressed ginger juice. There is fresh pressed ginger juice in our elderberry syrup, but something that we do at home when we're sick is we freeze cubes of fresh pressed ginger juice, and that can also really help knock something out at the first signs of it, or really help shorten the duration of infection. So I would highly suggest adding some fresh ginger juice as well. All right, good luck.